Okay, this is a rotary screw trap, and it's designed to trap juveniles and other fish that are within the river system, all smaller smolts and smaller fish that actually are swimming approximately about 18 inches from the surface on down. And as you can see, it's turning, so it funnels the fish into the back of it. You can see the green net and the 2 rope handles there. That's a live well. One of the technicians felt that it would be less stress on the fish if we actually created a workstation that was a little more friendly to creating less stress for the fish. And that's when we created this table. And you see this long tube here that's going on with the 2 sinks, and we'll bring them up and we'll actually separate the fish in the sinks. And then this tube here actually has a hose with a pump hooked up to it that will shoot the fish right back down into the water. We will just walk them up to the trailer house and measure, weigh, and record any conditions of the fish that we feel is important and tag them. This is what our tags look like. And I guess if you can get a picture of that, it's the little tag that's right there within the keychain. Now, as you can see, here's the number, 3D9.1BF170160E. And that's the individual tag number that we were talking about that tracks each individual fish. Every fish that goes over the dam, we can individually track them, and then when they come back. And also we have stations along the river that we can actually track them also. Today we had 3 hatchery Chinook, we had 25 suckers, we had 10 chisel-mouth, 39 smallmouth bass, and we had 1 steelhead that was a hatchery steelhead. We talk about the condition of the fish, so if there's something wrong with them, saying they've got fungus or have been chewed on by other fish or something, we actually record the condition of them, so if they don't come back, we have some indicators of why they didn't come back.
I'm Ben Tice. I work for the Army Corps of Engineers. What I'm doing here is monitoring fish passage at coming up Yellowhawk Creek and Mill Creek. In 2006, I decided to try to directly count the fish coming up Yellowhawk Creek and Mill Creek by putting this weir structure in and videotaping both there and on the Mill Creek side. It's important to know which creek that the fish want to use to reach the spawning grounds so that we can make better management decisions. It was thought for years that Yellowhawk Creek, because it has more water during the summer and more constant flow, that more fish would use Yellowhawk, and therefore we could prioritize efforts towards Yellowhawk Creek as opposed to Mill Creek. But what I've seen in the last 2 years is most of the steelhead and chinook likely use Mill Creek. And I've seen about 20 some odd bull trout and juvenile chinook pit tag detections here this year, so it's working out. There are a lot of barriers in between here and Ghost Street, so as the flows are dropping off like they are now, I'm gonna, in the next week or so, do a walk of the whole system down to Ghost Street and see if I can tell how many fish haven't made it. Once the fish pass this point, both Chinook and Steelhead go all the way up into or higher up into the watershed to spawn. Both Chinook and Steelhead can make it all the way up into what's referred to as the Walla Walla Watershed.
How fast do rivers go, Dad?
Well, remember we talked about the different kinds of rivers there are? Well, there's the rivers we can see, like this little stream right here, and there's the underground river. And for a long, long time, for older than your grandparents, we've been changing the way rivers act in systems to make it easier for us to farm around them or build cities around them. And slowly over time, we've done sort of like we've done on this stream. We've put cement along the walls of them and straightened them. And so over time, we've made water in our Walla Walla Basin go really fast, or faster than it usually did.
Wow.
But what we're trying to do now with some of the projects your daddy's working on and a lot of other really good people here in the basin is try to figure out ways to slow that water down again so that it's here longer, so it can be used for fish and for humans and for farming. And so what we're trying to do here is test the idea of taking water when it's available in the winter and spreading out across infiltration basins to get it back into the aquifer and help prop up the aquifer. It has numerous benefits if useful. It can help recover or stabilize the declining aquifer. It can help dilute the groundwater system because as things drop lower and lower, the concentrations of things increase, which is also always a bad water quality issue. And it also ultimately, hopefully, is designed to help encourage little Walla Walla River stream flows and springs that eventually end up in salmon-bearing streams in the Walla Walla River. We're partners with Oregon State University on this particular pump test and developing the model of the shallow aquifers and river system here in the Milton Free Water area.
How long does the water spend in this area? Right now, surface water is diverted to recharge the groundwater, and we want to see for how long does the groundwater stays. Really measure right now with a lot of apparatus is how deep the water table is.
The pump testing that we're talking about is going to help us answer one of the most critical questions, both for the people that are encouraged by this project and the skeptics. How long does the water stick around? And from what we've seen so far in the pump testing, we're very encouraged that the water that we put in this aquifer isn't instantly back in the Walla Walla River. There is a delay time, and again, that gets back to the fact that what we're trying to do is manage the timing of water with the natural system. To my knowledge, it's the first time in the valley that this kind of work's been done. And so it's really important that we get some of these physical properties of the aquifer, that how much water it can store, how quickly the water can move outward, particularly when we have 3 and possibly more recharge projects that we're starting to look at as a viable way to store and slow water down in our basin. The most exciting thing about the Hudson Bay District Aquifer Recharge Project is not only is it giving us valuable information about the aquifer and its properties, but it's actually an action step where we're actually putting water in the aquifer. So we're understanding the system better. We're also actually benefiting as a community from this action.